So we're sitting here in Austin, Texas. All right. And we're gonna be shooting into a video today on what I think is the single biggest distinction between people that are successful and people who are unsuccessful. Now, as I go into this, here's what I want you to do. Before I say it, don't cheat. Before I say it, write in the comments what you think is the single biggest distinction between people that are successful and people who are not successful. Okay, do it now. Pause. Okay, so you write it down. Check the comments below. You might even want to participate in the comments, say what your opinion is, and I'm going to tell you mine. My personal opinion is that the single biggest distinction between people that are successful and the people who aren't is a value for your time. It is two completely different modes of existence. And when you value your time, you get super rich, your dating life and your relationship life is off the charts, you wind up traveling the world, you wind up super healthy, everything just goes up and up and up, everything is awesome, you build a legacy. And when you don't value your time, well, guess what? If you don't have a plan for your time, somebody else does. So maybe the good old Chinese Communist Party, they're sitting over there in China, they're like, we have a plan for this stupid American's time. We're gonna get them to shorten their attention span and get propagandized while getting them addicted to short-term dopamine and watch TikTok and collect all their private information in case anything gets crazy. Okay, they've got a plan for your time. You're gonna doom scroll and shorten your, and get addicted on a dopamine spike type of flow, and then you're gonna doom scroll, you're gonna lose all your time, you're gonna go broke while they make billions of dollars and you rot your brain. That's the plan for their time. Or maybe there's a guy who sells weed and his plan for your time is that you're gonna become a weed addict. Or maybe someone made some stupid piece of reality TV and then they're gonna get money while you watch it and become dumb. Or maybe somebody's gonna make processed foods and then you're gonna eat it while they get rich and they don't even have to make proper food for you. And there's a million different versions of people who have a plan for your time. Oh, they got a plan for your time, all right. They got a plan for your time, but you don't have a plan for your own time. So the single biggest distinction that I want to make in your head right now, as we're sitting here in Austin, Texas, is do you value your time or do you not? And what we're going to be shooting into today is breaking down the different attributes of what it means to value your time, how your life pans out. I'm going to tell you some personal stories. In fact, this is kind of funny. I'm going to tell you the truth. And this is a sad confession. And we're going to reveal how this happened later in the video. I'm sitting here right now in Austin, and I've been planning two things for today, okay? I usually, on average, plan my life about 2 years out, everything I'm going to do. And that includes the fun stuff I'm gonna do. I plan about 2 years out. And I had a plan for this day about 2 years ago that I was gonna go to the San Antonio River Walk with my kids, and I was gonna shoot a video right here on this hill during golden hour. Now you'll notice, it ain't golden hour. I missed the shot, although the view, this is called blue hour right now, which is also beautiful, but I would want to catch a bit of golden hour first. But also, I missed the trip with my kids to San Antonio this morning. So I allowed myself to do something very, very stupid last night where I didn't get the shot that I planned 2 years ago, and I missed the trip. That is because I didn't value my time. I will also reveal how that happened in that story later in this video. So lock in, get ready, and what we're gonna show you right now is the importance of what I think is the single most important thing to your success, which is being a different type of person, a different kind of beast, which is somebody who values your time. Okay, so we're very, very blessed today. I got my buddy Josh Terry here. If you want to see an amazing personal growth Instagram, go to Josh Terry Plays. Look up Josh Terry Plays. So we're lucky to have Josh here today. And Josh, when you hear me talking about the value for time, I know that you think about that within the context of taking leadership of your time. I want you to give that take as I lead into my take that we've been promising here.
Sounds good. Okay, so there are people who value their time, and there are people who don't know that time has value. My come to Jesus moment was when I realized that the path that I was following was someone else's path. I was the most agreeable person that I knew growing up. I was like you know how all the magazines, they talk about how the guy was a rebel and all that stuff? I wasn't that at all. All that I did was I was told that this, fundamentalist Christian path would work for me. And I would do that. And then I was told, work hard, and then things will work for you. And then I just worked hard, and I became a burnout workaholic who didn't have a life. And my come to Jesus moment was realizing that none of the rules that had been set for me worked. And I had to start setting my own rules.
So I just wanted to jump in the video to let you know that I'm actually out here today on the beach, practicing what I preach, doing all the things that I tell you to do in these videos. I don't just do seminar videos where I tell you that you should work on your social skills. I go out and I meet and talk to people all the time. Now, as I'm out here doing this, here's what's funny. I've got students that are out here with me watching exactly what it is that I do, and they're kind of blown away by it. But then what I'm doing that I think is blowing them away even more is I'm showing them exactly how to do it so they can get the exact same result. Now imagine for everybody that's out here, for the rest of their lives, if they want to make a business connection, they want to network, they want to make friends, they want to work on making a genuine connection with someone very, very special, they know exactly what to do forever and ever because we came out here and did this work. Well, here's the thing. This work is not for everybody. You've got to be a very, very special kind of person to have what it takes to come out here and do this. You've got to be an action taker. You've got to be somebody who understands the value of knowing how to meet people anytime, anywhere, and realizing that your net worth is your network, okay? When you know everybody, what winds up happening? You make more cash, you're happier, and you wind up raising the vibe for everybody. It's an incredible skill. Well, what I've done is a lot of people have asked me about these trainings, and so I created a brand new website. It's actually brand new, with a very, very deep video that's really shocking. It's a shocking video. It's kind of an intense video where I go very, very deep on what it is that this looks like. Like imagine meeting up with me personally and going out and doing this. It's a shocking, crazy experience. And on the website in the video, I show exactly what it is that you can expect. It's really crazy. So if you want to see this, click the link below. And if you think that you're somebody that has what it takes, because this is not for everybody, and you've got to actually add value to the group, okay? In a situation like this, you can't be a leech. You've got to be someone who's bringing energy and is serious about results. If you think that that's you, fill out the form right on the website, and what I'll do is come and meet up with you in person, and we're going to learn this together. But again, that's only if you're the right fit. If you think that that's you, you click the link below, and we'll be sitting out here together doing this and change your life. Anyway, click the link, and back to the video.
And when I did that, I started to see that the ways that I was spending my time were useless. They were a complete waste. And when I switched over to setting rules for myself, I understood that if I set good rules, then the value was the metric for whether or not they were good rules. And so I would start setting rules and looking at whether or not I was following them. And then when I followed them and I got good results, I got value, I said, oh, I was spending my time in a positive manner. And then when those rules led me astray, I started setting new rules. And so valuing my time and seeing that I was getting good results with my time helped me to start defining the rules for how I was going to independently choose to live my life.
No, that's fantastic, bro. And that's what a major theme in the video is going to be, which is basically looking at how do you value your time? Where is your time going? How are you structuring relationships and the way that you're engaging with other people and their plans for your time? So we're going to go very, very deep on that. And it sounds like you had a big paradigm shift once you had an understanding of that. Would you say that valuing your time is the single? Everyone's gonna have their own view. That's actually why I put it as a question, because I think everyone's gonna have their own take on what's the most important thing. But I'm sure that you saw that it was one of the most, at least for you, important distinctions between people that self-develop and people who don't. Was that kind of like a big? Did you ever have an aha moment, or was it like as you said, your come to Jesus moment? In that moment, did you almost like I almost feel like when I had that awareness that value for your time is everything, it's like I almost couldn't even sleep for a month. Like my brain was like, I was just re-auditing my whole life. Like, what am I doing? Like, what's happening to me? I'm like a girl getting bukkakied from every direction. You know, it's just like, ah! You know, it's just like everything being shot at me while I'm just like collecting it from every direction. It's like, no more time bukkake, okay? Just stop. Like, you're just allowing people to do that to you. And it's that moment when you just say, no more. I had to value my time now. And then you almost become like same animal, different beast. Do you have a bit of that experience?
Yeah, I found it to be like a extreme unconscious behavior to not value the time. And so anytime I would stop being conscious about my behavior, my value of my time would go away. I think a lot of self-development we have to go through a painful experience of recognizing the waste, recognizing the useless parts of ourselves. And when I looked for the things that I was doing that were useless, I started to see how much time I had available to me to start succeeding with.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot to the next shooting location, and right now, next up, we're gonna show you how to value your time. Let's do it. Okay, so I took a bunch of notes on this, and I'm gonna use the notes because I wanna be laser precise. So you have time valuers and non-time valuers. Time valuers, first of all, have a vision for their life. They want something more fun or interesting or having more variety than just the same thing every day in some kind of blob. They want to develop themselves, and they want to leave a legacy. So is that you? Let me ask you a question. Do you have a vision for your life? Would you like to have a little bit more fun, or do you just want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over? Would you like to actually become the best version of yourself? Or would you rather stay the same and have the world accommodate the existing stagnant version of yourself? And do you want to leave a legacy? Do you want to add value to the world? Now, if that's what you care about, then you value your time. Now, if you don't value your time and you don't care about it, it's more like this. You have no vision, so you're basically just going to consume whatever's put in front of you. You're probably feeling crappy, and so you're just trying to numb yourself and be on autopilot, right? So you almost want to think of it as a line between coping and thriving. There's like this coping and thriving continental divide. And if you feel like crap and you just want to stop feeling like crap, that's you trying to numb out. Or if you're tired and you just want to be told what to do, that's you just wanting to go on autopilot. Or are you someone who is already at a half decent baseline? You don't want to numb out because you like your life. You want to actually have autonomy and will in your life because you want to have some degree of personal role in your life. So you're not trying to numb out and go on autopilot, but rather you want to actually have some degree of control over your life, okay? So do you want to stagnate? Someone who doesn't value their time wants to stagnate, because if you don't value your time, you're going to stagnate. And do you not really care about legacy, because you kind of just care about yourself, and that's it, that's all, okay? So that is the continental dividing line with whether or not you care about your time. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you care about your time, the end result of it is, like, look, let me just tell you straight up. Most of these motherfuckers you see out here, okay, we walk down on 6th Street, look, I love them to death. I love them to death, that's why I make the fucking video. They don't give a fuck about their time. They are sitting there looking for any possible diversion to waste their time down because, I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, if you like to get drunk or you like smoking a lot of weed, that's probably because you don't like the way you feel in your body and you want to numb it. Let me give a simple example. When I broke my leg, I broke the fuck out of my leg. And during that week that I broke my leg, they basically had me doing, in 1 week, fentanyl, codeine, and oxy. Okay, now I exploded my leg. They thought I was gonna be in a wheelchair for life. And they had to cut open my leg, rip the muscle off, drill into the bone, close it up. And I took the least amount of painkillers of anyone they've ever seen. They're like, we've never seen someone take this little amount of painkillers. I was like in this meditative Zen state the whole time. But for that first day, they had me on different painkillers. And let me tell you something. That is not something that I would be addicted to at all. It sucked. It was disassociative. It was annoying. It didn't feel good. But I'll tell you this, if I didn't enjoy being in my brain, well then yeah, that probably would have been a good time because it would have shut off the demons. So the average person that you see out here, they've got a lot of trauma. Their life's not going in the direction they wanted to. There's not really anything to look forward to. So as a result, anytime that they could just numb out, that's good. And they don't value their time. Then, if somebody says, let's gossip and shit talk about somebody, well, they're gonna do that too. Why? Because they get a little dopamine spike out of it, because they get winner effect off of thinking they're better than somebody else who's actually in the arena. They get fake dopamine from it, so now they're getting fake dopamine from shit talk, they're getting diversion from gossip, they're getting numbed out from drugs and alcohol, they're getting diversion from processed food, and so on and so forth. Now they can't think properly. Then they've got a shitty job. Now they're getting paid, again, talk about low value for time. They're getting paid dollars for time rather than dollars for results or dollars for owning the systems the way that a rich person does, or dollars for investments that you put in. They just get dollars for time because they've got nothing else to trade. And as a result, their life fucking sucks. They don't go anywhere. We could do an experiment right now, walk down 6th Street and be like, okay, you live here in Austin, Texas. Have you been to, say, San Antonio, which has a really cool river walk and has the Alamo, which is 90 minutes from here. Have you even been to the fucking Alamo or the river walk up the fucking street? No. And it's a sign that they don't value their time. There's a lot of really cool hiking out here in Austin, ATVing here in Austin. There's incredible museums here in Austin. The Mothership, the comedy store, the comedy place that Joe Rogan runs is here in Austin. There's cool restaurants here in Austin. Zilker Park is right there. There's cool things happening here in Austin. You have Barton Springs, cool little rivers and stuff. Ask the average person here, have you even gone swimming in Barton Springs? No, because they don't value their fucking time, okay? So that is what you might call like the continental dividing line. You either value your time or you don't. And then if you're, and this is the thing, if you're someone who actually values your time, if you do value your time, well then guess what? You're gonna have a more expansive life. And by a way of looking at it, you could argue that there's no right or wrong way to live life. I mean, to be fair, I have my opinion, obviously, clearly. But if somebody consciously chooses to be in a cope, they're just like, yo, I just want to be a fucking cope. Like, I just like this weed, yo. Like, I just like it. And they really meant it, then that is a fair decision. But if it's simply the fact that you just never even thought about valuing your time, like it just never occurred to you because they didn't teach it to you in school, they just didn't teach it to you, and you just never thought about it, and then you've kind of just been consuming whatever's in front of you, and like Josh Terry said earlier up on the hill, you're not taking leadership in where your time is going. And so now you're just like a victim of the Chinese Communist Party putting TikTok in front of you while they gather your data and turn you retarded and so on and so forth. Well, if that's the case, then just think about it, right? So again, if you're like, look, Owen, as cool as it would be to have millions of dollars, have a great dating life, to be super healthy, to go travel around the world, to go have fun, as cool as that would be, I'm just smoking this weed, yo. I got everything I need in this spliff. Like, if you can honestly say that, maybe even went and did it, and you're like, you know, I'm good. I'm good. And that's just where you're at. I mean, that, to me, that would seem kind of weird. But let's just say in theory, as a thought experiment, that's true, then fine. Well, hey, now you do value your time. But if you're somebody where you've just never thought about it, then what I'm going to be doing in this video is we're going to be encouraging you to think about where that time is going. And next up, what we're also going to do is we're going to look at value for time within the context of human relationships. Okay, what is the context within human relationships? Because you have some people that value their time, who maybe you want to have relationships with, whether that's friendship, romantic relationships, whatever. And there's some people who don't. They don't have value for their time, right? So, you know, maybe you got a significant other, romantic partner, and they love their weed. You know, so then you go on a vacation, they bitch and complain the whole time. Well, of course they bitch and complain the whole time. They don't want to go on vacation. They want to smoke weed. You know, maybe you hired somebody and they fuck up and fuck up and fuck up and complain to make drama within the business. Of course they fuck up and make drama in the business. They don't value their time, right? So there's a dividing line. So you got to think about who it is that you're relating to. And then most of all, what I want to get you to do is I want you to think about and do an audit of where you're at and actually look at where your time is going. I'm going to encourage you to do that too. We got a lot more to cover. We're going deeper into Austin, Texas. Let's go. Okay, so Austin is the land of social media influencers, and I have my other buddy, Josh Hudson here. Now, Josh, you got to check out his channel. He does the subject of men recovering from having their wives leave them. But just like me, I have my surface level subject matter of things like social skills, but we go way, way deeper into personal growth, self-actualization, self-love. Josh has a ton of content that goes way, way deeper than just how to save your marriage. But this comes up in the topic of how to save your marriage with what he deals with, because what happens when you don't value your time? Oftentimes your wife stops respecting you. So make sure that you check out Josh Hudson, check out his channel, and we're going to get his take on this exact topic of valuing your time.
Thanks, Owen. So in that book, it's Friedrich Nietzsche, right? It's one of his books, his fictional books, on how the main character is up in this cave meditating for years, answering life's biggest questions. And so he comes down to this village, right? And he says, I have all the answers to life, essentially. He starts preaching, and everyone thinks he's this circus performer, and they start laughing at him. Well, as this book continues, Friedrich Nietzsche is able to differentiate between the people who are time wasters and people who are the Übermensch, the Superman. And it also ties into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can probably show a photo of this, how we are self-actualizing individuals, right? In which we are all born diamonds, perfect, full of love, light, and joy. If you look at a little baby, right? They're free from trauma. They are just, they're crying because they want mom or dad, but ultimately they're balls of love and light. And what happens over time in this model is that dirt gets thrown onto this diamond through trauma, through messages that you're not enough, whether it's through societal conditioning or different patterns in life. And so with the time waster idea, what's happening here is that a lot of people are ignoring a lot of the mental chatter that's going on in their mind. They're just trying to distract themselves and get through life instead of embrace it. And so as a time waster, right, what you're trying to do is you're trying to see the core issue here is that you have dirt spread all over your diamonds, right, your beautiful diamonds. And what you need to do is recognize that the weed, the porn, and all this stuff, what it's doing is essentially just masking who you really are at the core, okay? And so in my process, I was addicted to porn. I was playing video games. I mean, there's some pretty good games Owen was talking about, right? Like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, that shit was amazing. But when you're in it.
And whacking off.
And whacking, oh my God. The deviancy of porn that you can go down to waste your time, you are just avoiding this core fundamental belief that you are not good enough, right? And so I thought to myself when recording this, how did I get out of that? There was a core moment where I remember I was about 7 years into the YouTube channel, my first channel, got to 150,000 subscribers, right? Before that moment, I was spending multiple years in a mastermind with other big YouTubers, Clark Keegley, all these other guys, and they were crushing it. And I was like, why am I not able to do what they're doing? I'm in the mastermind with these guys. I'm doing exactly what they're doing. And then I had a conversation with Clark one day, and we were going over my daily habits. And I was honest with him. I said, I played 2 hours to 3 hours of video games a day. He's like, why? He's like, what do you do on the weekend? I was like, I go out with my friends and I drink a little bit. He's like, I'm working every weekend. And that moment hit me. If I want to get to where I want to be, I have to do the things those people are doing, right? And so that started the personal journey of being like, okay, what is that dirt on my diamond? And as a licensed therapist, what I usually do with clients is that we're able to reveal these limiting beliefs that you have. It's almost like software code that you first had enveloped into your brain as a child that told you weren't good enough, and you automatically believe it. It's in your subconscious mind, right? So what you do instead is that you are able to extract those beliefs with an expert or even the self-inquiry, right? You read a few books on therapy and how this works. There's a couple of books that I can mention. I think one of the most popular ones is Letting Go by Dr. Hawkins, right? It's a really good one, right? The Untethered Soul is a really good one as well. Body Keeps the Score. But what you do is you pull out these individual beliefs, like pieces of code in your subconscious brain, and you simply reframe them, right? You change these belief systems, and then it essentially rubs that dirt off you, and then you're able to then take action on that, and that conceptualizes a new person that you are, right? A new identity, okay? And so with the idea of time wasting, you have to recognize, what are you truly getting? Is it consistent with the man you want to be? Owen talks about the personal audit all the time. I mean, it sounds so fucking simple, right? Can I curse?
Yes.
Okay.
It's fucking simple.
It's fucking simple, but at the same time, you don't do it, right? At the end of the night, you're sitting there like, oh, I got a big day tomorrow. I'm just gonna chill. I just need a couple hours just to chill, right? I just need to whack off. I just want to relax. I want to watch. I gotta finish that season of Vikings, man. It's a good season, right? Man, how long is this gonna go on for? How long are you going to continue watching?
You know the most fucked up part of this too? The more that you're talking about like whacking off and watching Vikings and videos, I'm like, maybe this video's all a lie. Maybe I do just want to watch Vikings and whack off. Because I mean, and that is the trap, is that you do have to audit to think about, what do you like more than this? Like, what do you like more than whacking off in Vikings? Because that's the thing, is it's pretty good. I mean, Vikings is a good show. It's
a great show.
That's a great fucking show. So you've got to think of, and if you're going to watch a show, then make at least sure it's something like Vikings that's worth it. Or make sure if it's a video game, make sure it's fucking worth it. But otherwise, you got to have something that you prioritize above that. Because even as you're saying this, I'm like, it's a pretty good Friday night, bro. It's like, what are we doing this for? But that's the thing, is that we also want to do something beyond just whacking off and watching Vikings. Like, that can't be the pinnacle of life.
Well, and the thing there about that, Owen, is that Owen's achieved a lot of the success that he set out to achieve, right? I'm sure he's always raising the bar, obviously. But so he's go, right? Like, have you grinded every single weekend, all the time? No, like.
Then you get to whack off and watch Vikings.
Right, exactly. So it is about that balance, but a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll sit there and they'll go through the same patterns, right? And you're expecting a different result, right? That's the definition of fucking insanity, right? You know this, right? So that's all I have to say about that for now.
Yeah, and by the way, Josh, you also had, and just bring this camera over here for us. Just look into this camera, just show with us here. Okay. You also had, Ibrahim, could you please bring the camera right here? You also had to take about like a sort of a epiphany moment that you had as well, right, on the same subject?
Yeah, and this speaks a lot to this idea of like, okay, so you've been, wasting a lot of time on TikTok, Netflix, whacking off, whatever. We're gonna see how many times we can say whacking off in one video. But when I was really struggling with my health, I was spending hours and hours on Netflix, which is I mean, really low quality, not just low vibration, but low quality, low vibration activities. And I was just spending hours on there, and I was sleeping for 11, 12 hours a day. And something that I think it's really important to understand is that we don't always know how good things can get, right? And so sometimes we get lost in these things, and it's not necessarily because you are, lazy. You might actually have no idea where to go, right? And so I had this time after I'd fixed a lot of stuff in my life where I was just taking a walk, and I was just feeling the muscles in my body. I was feeling the breath that I was breathing. I was feeling the way the bones were moving in my joints, and it was all pleasant. And I had this moment of, oh my God, I understand why nobody does the work, because most people don't live like that. Most people don't have those pleasant feelings, and they don't know how good it can get. And to get out of it, you kind of have to go in two different directions. One, sometimes you have to just know that good stuff is there and just kind of have faith and charge through it. And then on the other side, sometimes you need to actually find out how good it can be. There's an awesome quote by, I think it's Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson says, if you want to quit alcohol, you need to come up with something that's better than alcohol to replace 100%. It with. Because alcohol's really good, right? And a lot of these things, God of War, jacking off.
I feel like this is going to convince anyone to stop.
Can we get like a marker in the video? Ding, ding.
Now I'm like, damn.
It's great. These are enjoyable things.
Just go do it.
Just
right?
go do it.
Right.
Then come back to this video.
But no, the things that are representative of a person who does not value their time, a lot of these things are things that are on the surface pleasant. But there are deeper pleasures in life. There are deeper joys in life. And what I found is a lot of us don't even realize how good it can be. And so you need to go through a process of, one, finding ways to give yourself quality things in life that are beyond those escape mechanisms. Things that are of high value. Things that are of extreme value, not just in a work mode, but in terms of, wow, I had this pleasant activity and the next day I felt better, right? And then you also have to go through a period of going, okay, I have read enough books, I've watched enough videos to see that there is something good out there beyond this cope life that I have. And let me just try to do some of the work to see if I have some of those experiences. So I found it incredibly valuable to have a back and forth mechanism of how do I have good things, just consciously try to give myself quality good things in life, and then how do I have faith that the good things will come, and then do the work that people say will get me those good things.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I could just feel, I could intuitively feel you had something big to add. That was really awesome.
So, as Josh was talking,
I'm just cracking here. Josh is just chilling here.
Yeah, as Josh was talking, I was thinking, what was the one moment for me that was that catalyst that changed everything, right? I turned 30 years old. I was in this mastermind. I was still working part-time as a drug rehab facilitator therapist in San Diego. And I had my private practice, and I was posting YouTube content, dating content actually. And it was going all right, but it wasn't to where I wanted to be. And so there's the whole burning the boats, right? Your self-concept, right? It follows your actions as much as your actions follow your self-concept. What that means is the actions you take, your brain says, oh, I did this thing, I must be this person. And if you are this person, you're gonna do that thing, right? It's cyclical. Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about that all the time, right? Your identity shapes your behavior. So I said, screw it. My frustration got so much. I got to desperation. I quit my job. I was in $40,000 of college debt. I went to Japan by myself for a month. Got on a bike. I would just choose a monument. I would just bike through the city, touching the cars with the earphones in debt. Just what's gonna happen when I get back? I don't know. I quit my job, and I was the most free and happy I've ever been. I get back, and I know how you feel about psilocybin or mushrooms, right? And psychedelics.
No, but it's something that you value, and I always acknowledge that.
Right,
people
right.
value.
Yeah, we can have a larger conversation about that. So what happened is, my mechanic of all people, I was talking to him, and I was talking to him about the use of MDMA for PTSD, for treating veterans who had a lot of trauma. And he's vibing with me. He's like, let me show you something. I was like, okay. So he takes me to his back door of his garage. I'm like, this guy's about to kill. He's already kind of weird a little bit, right? Eddie, if you're watching this, but he takes me down this valley. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely gonna kill me. It's in the dark in this like little thing behind San Diego. And there's this room. I'm like, this is probably the kill room. He's gonna take me to the kill room. He opens the door and it was like pillows, speakers, a bathroom. He goes, this is where we do our ceremonies. We're doing one next weekend. A shaman's coming. Would you want to do it with us? And I was like, I read a thing from Timothy Leary saying, don't seek it out, let it find you. I was like, well, here it is, right? So first time doing psilocybin ever, full-blown ego death, right? I saw who I thought I was, this therapist in San Diego, Josh, and he's 30 years old, and who I really was. My tattoo shows this, my one tattoo shows this. It's called Tattvamasi, which is Sanskrit for you are it, and I experienced that whole blown ego death, and that's when I started the business. I had pretty much no money in my bank account, and the clients just started coming, right? And the thing about God that I believe is that he's benevolent, in that if you take the action, if you really want it, he will provide it for you. But you have to go through that risk. As Joseph Campbell says, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And so whatever is holding you back from becoming that person, find what that is, recognize that the distractions are holding you back from that, and take that step into that cave, that embrace that fear, okay? Because when you take that action, you'll become the man, that Ubermensch we're talking about, who's able to go through that fear, conquer that dragon, and conquer himself, okay?
That's amazing. These are incredible stories. And here's what I'll do. How deep in the video are we at this point? Ibrahim, what would you say, how deep are we in? About 30. Okay, so we're 30 minutes deep, and there was actually an event that happened yesterday that actually triggered me to think about this. And it actually triggered me to think about, I probably have about another hour of content on this, but I'm gonna do it in Houston. So we're actually gonna wrap it here. You're like, you get out of the cold. So we're actually doing a Russian Bonnie right now. But here was the event that actually triggered this for me. So I was chatting a guy last night who's a really, really, really cool guy. And I enjoyed the conversation, great guy. But what happened was I allowed myself to get sucked into that conversation, which I was enjoying, but and this is pretty bad, but I'm not too proud of this, but I was supposed to be with my children this morning in the Riverwalk and the Alamo in San Antonio. San Antonio, we're in Austin, Texas right now. San Antonio is about a 90-minute drive from here. Like for those of us from LA, 90 minutes is just like the other side of town. So that's not like viewed as a different city in my world. So I was supposed to be with them. And because I stayed up talking with him late, he'll feel bad if he hears this, because he watched my video. So what's up, bro? But it wasn't his fault. It was my fault. I stayed up talking to him late. So I took something that was cool and that was fun, that was kind of dangled in front of me. But as a result, I had both planned to be in San Antonio this morning, and I had been planning to shoot this video in the sunlight. Okay, because there's a great shot of the city up there in the sunlight. Now I like this shot too, and Austin has this kind of like cool Tron-like feel to it. It looks great at night too, but. You know, I had a plan to shoot in the daytime and to shoot a nighttime video. So I missed my daytime video, we'll only get a nighttime video. But I also missed San Antonio with my kids. And that's what I'm saying is like, you know, the Vikings and the whacking off, like that's the equivalent of the cool conversation with the guy last night. But I should have had a vision of, wait a minute, 2 years ago when I laid out my schedule, and that's, my travel schedule I laid out well in advance. I had a plan. I'm gonna go with my sons to the fucking Alamo. Now their mom took them. The kids are good, but I want to go to the Alamo with my kids. I didn't make it, and I also wanted to have a certain video as a legacy piece, and I didn't get it done. But I had a cool conversation. To me, that is what these kind of like, kind of cool and fun things, but ultimately not the thing. And that was like you with your older channel. I'm sure it had a lot of upsides. Then you had the ego death, and then you saw what you're really meant to do. Yeah. It's like what you're talking about, where you had that come to Jesus moment. You're walking down the street and you realize there's more to life, right? So it's all those little things where you're not understanding, yes, this is cool, but there's something bigger. And, for me, what that something bigger became was, in the past few years, I wound up traveling to almost every national park in America, which is crazy. Drove America multiple times over, went to almost every single ski resort multiple times over. And what's funny is, even when I say that, if you haven't done it, it's kind of like someone just talking. It's like if someone told me they went to Mount Everest, something you're like, Mount Everest, like, okay, right? But it's not real. But when you see how amazing it can be to actually go see the world, it is fucking amazing. Or, I've done some of the very best parties in all of LA, which, is amazing for your social life, your dating life, let's just say is wow, okay? And, an experience like that, as fun as it is to whack off and watch Travis Fimmel on Vikings, it's even better, maybe, Travis is a pretty good looking guy, but maybe it could be better to actually run the best party. Like we've had it where we ran the best party on a given Saturday in all of LA. Like it gets out of control, okay? Like I have to hire like many extra security guards because the whole street's gonna clog up. Like half the night's just pushing people back off the street and we're letting in the best people. And you know, your social life, dating life after that is fucking insane. Or, you know, having that amazing moment at a seminar, just being up in front of a crowd, free associating, having fun, being out here with my friends, making videos and so on and so forth. Like there's just so much to life that's valuable. So just make sure that, again, you don't get stuck in that, you know, really fun conversation, but you could have done that really next level thing. And that's what we're getting at here. There's two different types of people. And the different types of people in the world is not by race, it's not by gender, it's not by sexuality. It is who values their time and who doesn't. Who takes accountability and who believes they're a victim. Who believes they're at the cause and who believes they're at the effect. And being at the cause and valuing your time and taking agency, not being a victim. And look, we've all been victimized, but taking agency and valuing your time, that is the fundamental component of what's gonna make you the highest level person you can be. And in Houston, Texas, we are gonna be going into the different relationship components, which is an entire framework. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I've got it all laid out. And what I want you to do is go home tonight and write down an audit of how you're living your life and create a vision of what you actually want. Make your vision of seeing every national park or doing that big party or dating life, health, whatever it is for you that will overpower the desire to just shoot a big cream pie on your stomach and pass out with a joint in your mouth, okay? I know you can do it. You can fucking do it, okay? Thank you guys for being here very much. It's fucking awesome, guys. Taking off from here in the heart of Austin, Texas. We'll be back with more soon. Peace.